All right, so I am Dr. Munsch from the LaPenta School of Business, and it's so great to see everyone here, and especially my stat students too, because I'm hoping that's an indication that you've gotten excited about, statistics and what it can do. And this is an advanced, analytical tool, and it's one that can be used in so many different verticals, especially if you are an entrepreneur. So what I'm going to do is the following. I have a reflective exercise just to just set the stage for this. And then I'll give you some background on the methodology, how it is used and how it can help entrepreneurs. And I'll give you a personal example where I am working, with someone to optimize an entrepreneurial idea. And then if we have time, we'll have some closing reflections. And if we can't do it in the context of this session, I will give you a link to a simulation of Conjoint that you can do with your friends, on your own. All right, so first, the reflective exercise. Take a look at this. Which of these following ice creams would you buy? Would you buy a Frosty Vanilla at $2.90, where it's 200 grams? Would you buy a Strawberry Galore at $2.90 at 200 grams? Or would you buy a 150 gram Mango Ice at $3.50? Or would you not choose any of these? Just think about it. And you know what, if you would do something for me, put it in the chat. Which one would you choose? Just put it in the chat. I'll put it up again. All right. So think about it. If the size was changed, if the price was changed with any of those options, think about how your choice might indeed change. That is what conjoint analysis gets at. That is the main focus of conjoint analysis. So what is conjoint analysis? It is a research technique that has been around for a long time, developed in the early 70s, and it measures how buyers value individual components of a product or service bundle. Because as you can imagine, when you're going to launch a product, develop a product, there's a lot of different things that you can have associated with that product, and you can price it, in many different ways. So how do you optimize that bundle? So in the dictionary, conjoint really is defined as joined together, combined. So I'd like to tell you a story about how conjoint analysis, helps to create billion-dollar brands. In the early 2000s, two new car models had divergent fortunes. One was really successful, the other was a flop. In May of 2016, Harvard Business Review detailed this contrast of product success in an article called in Product Development, Let Your Customer Define Perfection. It's an intriguing story of two automotive giants, with billions of dollars in revenue, where valuable product research lessons and the benefits of conjoint, can be appreciated. And I think it can be appreciated with this example. After avoiding bankruptcy in the 90s, Porsche, everybody knows Porsche, well, those executives set out to turn around the storied car brand. They wanted to come out of that financial demise. So by the early 2000s, the burgeoning SUV market became a promising target, and Porsche set out on a mission to understand the market and its customers' appetite for luxury SUV. Confirming that customers would welcome Porsche as an SUV, the product team gathered phenomenal feedback from consumers on every aspect finding that they were willing to trade off the manual transmission, which is a staple in all Porsche cars at that point, in favor of some iconic features such as, you know, the sportiness, the power, the handling. At Porsche, the customer listening process continued with every proposed feature. If customers valued a particular feature and they were willing to pay for that feature, well, then they were in. If not, no amount of convincing from Porsche engineers could overrule the end user. So if the engineer said, hey, let's do this, let's do that, hey, if it didn't come from the customers, it wasn't going to be done. All right. So at Porsche, the Cayenne, their SUV, soon hit the market, and it was an instant success. And it later became the most profitable vehicle in the industry. Around the same time, Porsche was launching that Cayenne SUV. The CEO of Fiat Chrysler said, of all the cars I can get wrong, it ain't this one. The car he was referencing was the Dodge Dart. Does anybody know about the Dodge Dart?
Yeah, it's like a small economy car.
Yes, yes. You know, that's the Cayenne. Here's the Dodge Dart. Now, the production was, you know, several years after its launch, and it amassed a huge financial loss. And one key takeaway is that Porsche bucked conventional thinking using good product research. But, you know, the Dodge Dart did not do the same thing. You know, they didn't. You know, what went wrong with Dodge with building another sedan was, you know, that they let the engineers decide what the product features are going to be. So product managers, engineers, and market researchers are often faced with these trade-off decisions. Which features should we build into a product? What features should we include today? How much should we charge for the product? These are the other product development questions that are so difficult to answer. So to give entrepreneurs a competitive advantage, in particular while developing products, and to help close that awareness gap, I'm presenting to you what conjoint analysis is and how it can be used. So let's discuss what it is and how it works and how it can answer questions in business. So with conjoint analysis, what you can do as a business person is understand how so many varied product concepts can be optimized, where respondents are asked to rate, rank, and choose among a subset of those concepts. And based on what the customer evaluations are, the analysis can determine, you know, how much value, and we think about it as a utility, how much value each of the features add. With conjoint analysis, rather than asking people directly, do you prefer this over the other, the analysis presents realistic trade-offs that infer the preferences. So if you can think about it this way, when respondents are forced to make difficult trade-offs, we learn what they truly value. So as an example, you can't have the highest fuel efficiency and the best performance. You can have an education from one of the most reputable universities in the world and the best pricing. Sawtooth Software is a leading developer of technology in the area of information management for complex problems, especially when it comes to understanding and predicting customer choice. Now with Conjoint, the software is called the Discover platform, and it is deployed online, and it helps to effectively collect and analyze data so that you can optimize product features when you are doing an entrepreneurial innovation. So I'm going to show you a short video that shows you how the software works and how you can start to optimize product features along with pricing. Any questions so far? I hope you find this interesting. All right, so let me get the video that I want to show you how this works so it's not quite as abstract. So as you can see with the conjoint analysis technology, you can capture respondent preferences, and then you can simulate within the software which product combinations are going to yield the highest demand. And it's very powerful because you can't be all things to all people, you know, when you are developing an entrepreneurial innovation. So with the conjoint analysis, you can discover the algorithm generates alternate versions of choices designed to reduce context and order bias. And with computerized interviewing, it's easy to administer hundreds of versions to respondents. So no one can see, you know, all of the same versions at once. It's multiple combinations, you know, something that you would not be able to do manually. So Discover encompasses decades of conjoint analysis experience, and to activate in the software, you enter the attributes and levels that are associated with your innovation, and you can find that this software will intelligently recommend how many questions to ask and how many product concepts to show your respondents. The system enables your survey to be live and ready for data collection. And then once you have your data collection, the software has a simulator where you can analyze the results to predict how well your product or service will do in the marketplace. So there are 3 conjoint analysis outputs. You will see what your target market finds is important. You'll find out what value they apply to the particular product features, and then you can simulate, you know, what combination of features will create the highest demand. So as such, Conjoint can help decision-making around benefits across many verticals. It's not just for marketing. It is used pretty heavily in marketing, to set pricing, to evaluate product design, to estimate, what value customers put in the brand equity, figure out product extensions, also to identify market segments, but it can be used in economics and econometrics to evaluate transportation alternatives, compare energy alternatives, evaluate environmental impacts. It can even be used in the healthcare vertical and human resources. In human resources, it can be used to screen potential employees, design compensation packages, healthcare plans, evaluate performance, predict employee responses. In healthcare, it can be used to evaluate doctor to patient interactions, develop new drugs, develop new drug programs, and even in the law to help mitigate effects of litigation, damage assessment, and select jury members. So no matter what field you're in, entrepreneurial, many different sectors, the application of Conjoint definitely applies. So I'm in the process of working with an entrepreneur to optimize an app that he wants to develop in the music vertical. So how can Discover CBC be used to determine the optimal mix of attributes in the development of this app? Well, I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear the entrepreneur in his own words with this voice memo. So let's see if this will work.
I've been playing drums for almost 50 years now, and I have been in many practice and performance situations. I just don't think the tools for today's drummer has kept up with the new technology that is available. I also have conducted research on the notation that is used in drum practice books and musical parts, and have discovered that there is no standard for the drum kit. Thus, I was inspired to develop the Real Drummers app to fix all of that for the 4 million world drummers out there that face the same challenges. Whether you are just beginning and want to build a practice regimen, develop four-way independence, or are an experienced performing drummer and don't want to turn pages on the traditional music stand with paper drum parts while you're holding onto your sticks, the Real Drummers app will bring your drum playing into the 21st century.
Were you able to hear that? You were able to hear his pitch? Okay. So in developing this entrepreneurial idea, how does he optimize, what he's going to have in the app, and optimize it so that, he'll have 1 million downloads potentially. Conjoint analysis can help him to optimize, what features should be a part of this app. So let's take a look at some of the features that he is considering. Hang on. Let's take a look at that. With this entrepreneurial idea, he has the ability to have the drummers have unlimited combinations of parts for, a way to achieve four-way independence with drumming, which is something that drummers like to be able to do. They like to be able to practice beats individually, selecting each part by each limb. They like to be able to use the music stands for performance and be able to understand the notations. They want to be able to mount it on an iPad or Android tablet so they can easily see the configuration so that the drummer can actually view the music very easily on a drum kit setup. And there are visual interfaces and controls, which would be a karaoke type setup with a LED light up to the screen. Also, the visual interface would have a roller piano style view mode for practicing and performance, so that they don't have to turn the page when they are performing. So the target market where, this conjoint analysis will be done will be with beginning drummers just starting to practice, and even well-experienced drummers. There are 100,000 new drummers each year. And the idea is with this innovation, this is the market potential. The differentiator the entrepreneur feels is that it can be easily mounted on a tight drum set where a music stand can't fit or is too cumbersome. It works for a drummer no matter if they are left-handed or right-handed, or if they play in an open-handed or traditional style, and they can change to the next page or song automatically with no page turning. All right, but how much will these drummers pay for this app? What combination of attributes will the drummer find to have the highest utility? So this is an example of how Conjoint can help. We're in the process of creating the different features to make sure that they're easy to understand, and we will be launching this survey in the next few weeks. But here are 3 of the possible scenarios for the drummers: to have a karaoke follow-along feature, a roller piano, measures the view and numbers the stepper for $1.99 per download. Or it could have a karaoke follow-along feature, a roller piano, and a beats per minute selector, again at $1.99. Or it could have a roller piano, beats per minute selector, Bluetooth foot pedal, where it would enable hands-free at an additional cost, and then that would be at $149. So what the Conjoint is going to do is sort all of these different features and prices so that one can actually understand what is the optimized product features at the highest cost that particular target audience would be willing to pay. Any questions so far? So I want you to be able to experience what Conjoint can do. In my closing reflection, on Wednesday, the software developer, Brian McEwen from Sawtooth Software, will show any of you who come on Wednesday how to use this software for your own projects, and also show you how you can have access to this software. They have provided an academic license to faculty and students that want to try this. I mean, in the professional world, this software projects are thousands and thousands of dollars, but Sawtooth Software has provided a way for the academic world to get a taste of what this can do in terms of optimizing entrepreneurial innovations. So, all right, I'm going to put a link in the chat that I want you to grab onto. So hang on, grab it and put it in the chat. Now this is going to be a little bit of an experiment because I've not done this in the Zoom world. Okay, so if you can open up another screen or another tab on your computer, and then open this up, you can follow along with me, and we will be able to see your collective responses in a conjoined way. All right, so let me launch it myself and share my screen. All right, so if you can launch it along with me where you have this, this screen, well, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see how this works a little bit more. So this choice-based conjoint example survey will provide an introduction for gaining insights into how this popular approach works. For this illustration, we won't be using fancy math, only the math you learned at age 5 by counting. So let's go to the next screen. So I want everyone to put the number 24 in the group ID. That way you'll be able to see our responses collectively. All right, so put in the number 24. All right, so imagine you are at an evening baseball game and the game is more than halfway over. You are very hungry and you decide to leave your seat to buy dinner. So go to the next screen, stay along with me. There are 6 different food choices. The lines at the different food booths have different wait times. The prices vary. Let's go to the next one. Now, if these prices and wait times were involved, which option would you choose? Task 1 of 9. All right, so study the prices, the food, how many people are waiting in line, and then if none of these items make sense to you, then just say, I wouldn't choose any of these. So I'll give you a minute to do that.
Can we just click next once we hit whatever we
Yep, once you make your selection, go to next.
We can only just choose one, I'm seeing, right?
Yep, just one.
Okay.
All right, so next we'll change the wait times and prices and ask you to make another choice. We will repeat this 8 times with different wait times and prices. And we're asking multiple scenarios similar to one you just answered to get a sense of how you make decisions about this topic under different conditions. You may find this exercise somewhat challenging, but hopefully fun. So let's go to the next one. So you only make one choice. And if there's anything that does not appeal to you, then you would select none. I wouldn't choose any of these. All right, so you can do it at your own time. I'm going to do it along with you. And then when we get to the end, we'll look at our collective responses. So you only select one. And then you go to the next. Okay, so below we show how many times you personally picked each item. One person, 1 minute. Those are the wait times selected. Most chose the lower price. Okay, so that's our collective data. Here are the counting results of all respondents of your group, of our group. Okay. So it looks like the pizza was the most popular. What the counts for the, okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure what this wait time count totals here, but with the price totals, you know, the pizza at $6 was the most interesting. So here, this shows that the lower the wait times and the cheaper the food price seems to have the highest utility. So here we can do some simulations. So let's see if we change the crab sandwich to 1 minute at an $11 price, what would happen? Then the garden salad would go up in utility. What about the garlic fries? What if we change that to 5 minutes? Then it would get 49% of the share. Does anyone want to give me another scenario? We can change these scenarios and see what the choice, the share of choice, how that would change here on the bottom.
Clam chowder being 1 minute and $6, and same with hot dog.
And the hot dog, what, 1 minute?
Yep, and $6, both of them.
Oh, both of them, okay. So let's simulate it, let's see what. So it looks like under those conditions, the clam chowder would have the highest utility or the highest percent share. Let's try one more simulation before we close. One more simulation. Anybody want to change this scenario to see how the choice would differ?
I just did it on my own just to see what would happen with each one at a wait time of 1 minute and a price of $6. Just
Okay.
to kind of see. And pizza got the most. So that's just interesting. Like one of them got, like, because it's all the same. A couple of them got 7%. So I wonder if the same will come up for you.
Well, I think it's all, it's
Yeah.
all of our same data. Yeah, so pizza seems to be, the preferred food, all things being equal. That would, that's one way to interpret this. Yeah, so, I mean, you can take this link and try it on your own, absolutely. But, that is really, what I'm trying to illustrate for you in terms of how conjoint is used in the real world. And if you come on Wednesday, same time, same place, one of the developers from Sawtooth Software, I've known him for decades, I feel like, Brian McEwen, he is going to show you how to actually create your own project with the software tool. And, I think you'll find it to be very interesting. This is something that could come in handy in your career pursuits, but also it could come in handy with some of your coursework, your projects. Think about the application, in some of your classes. All right, so this is all I have for this session. Thank you so much for coming. Are there any questions about what you just saw?
Is the slideshows gonna be available or?
Oh yeah, I can put the slideshows available, and actually I'm recording this. I can even make the recording available.
Yeah, our goal is to turn this into a YouTube link so you guys can always check it out on replay. So just keep a lookout for that. I'll send it to Dr. Munch as well too, or even this recording, whatever works.
All right,
Wow.
wonderful. But please join on Wednesday so you can hear from Sawtooth Software directly and understand how you can access your own academic license for this software, so that, as you develop projects, if you have an entrepreneurial idea and you have all these ideas in terms of, what features to have, and you're struggling with what price to have, this is a tool to help you optimize those product bundles. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. And I hope to see you again on Wednesday. Take good care.